As we begin with major breaking news out of the UK for you this morning. British police have arrested Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew, on suspicion of misconduct in public office. About 2 weeks ago, files released by the US Justice Department indicated the former prince may have shared confidential government information with the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Well, this morning we're hearing from the family of Virginia Jeffrey. Jeffrey accused Andrew, you may remember, of having sex with her when she was underage after being trafficked by Epstein. The family sent CBS News this statement, writing in part, quote, "Today, our broken hearts have been lifted at the news that no one is above the law, not even royalty." It goes on to say, quote, "He was never a prince. For survivors everywhere, Virginia did this for you." Andrew has denied her allegations. CBS News correspondent Tina Kraus joins us from our London bureau with the latest on this. Tina, good morning. This has all just unfolded in the past few hours. Bring us up to speed on the specifics. What do we know?
Good morning, Errol. Well, the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, the younger brother of King Charles III, comes on Andrew's 66th birthday. The former prince, who was stripped of his royal titles late last year over his ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, is now in custody, being questioned on suspicion of misconduct in public office, a serious charge that on conviction carries a life prison sentence. Police arrested him at his home on one of the King's royal estates this morning, a few hours outside of London. They're now carrying out searches at 2 addresses in that area. They're also assessing reports that the former royal sent sensitive trade reports to the billionaire pedophile back in 2010, confidential information about investment opportunities around the world, including Afghanistan and Hong Kong. Multiple police departments across the UK have previously said they were reviewing ties between Andrew and Epstein, including allegations that a woman was trafficked here to the UK by Epstein to have a sexual encounter with the King's brother. Andrew, always denying any wrongdoing in relation to Epstein, says he regrets their friendship. The arrest of a senior member of the royal family is extraordinary. It's considered unprecedented in the modern history of the British monarchy. Errol?
All right, Tina, thank you very much. We now want to discuss this with CBS News royal contributor Amanda Foreman. Amanda, good morning. I only see you when there's crisis with the royal family. And this is something you and I have never discussed before, that the family in the modern era has never seen. So for the monarchy, how stunning a development is this arrest?
Well, it is a stunning development for the public. For the royal family, obviously, they will have known that bad things were about to happen to Andrew, and they have been in damage control now for several weeks. As we know, he moved from his home Royal Lodge to Sandringham very, very quickly indeed a couple of weeks ago, and has been up north in Sandringham ever since. So this isn't a total surprise.
And if we go back to October, when King Charles III decided to strip Prince Andrew of his royal title and evict him from the royal estate, if I look back at the statement, it includes this quote: "Notwithstanding the fact that he, former Prince Andrew, continues to deny the allegations against him." This is as they explain the move. And they say their majesties wish to make clear their thoughts and utmost sympathies have been and will remain with the victims and survivors of any and all forms of abuse. And that was before the Justice Department here in the US released additional Epstein files and documents that the government there in the UK has now picked up. And there are these allegations of perhaps giving Jeffrey Epstein, the convicted sex offender, investment advice. What do you make of that chapter last year of Andrew being stripped of his royal title, and now this, which seems to be the law catching up with him in some way?
Well, these are two very separate issues, and it is important that we bear that in mind. The former Prince Andrew has been arrested. The charges actually misconduct in public office and this refers to when he was a trade envoy, has been said. There's someone else also in the public eye, Lord Mandelson, who was the former British ambassador to the US, who had to resign in disgrace. And he has been shown to have given documents, sensitive information to Epstein during their friendship. there is no actual, as far as we know, smoking gun, actual hard evidence that Andrew at Mountbatten-Windsor did the same thing. But this is the issue that we're talking about here. This is why the Thames police have arrested him. It has nothing to do with his sex life.
Right. And as you say that, Amanda, we've just received a statement from His Majesty. I will read that to our viewers as we are reading it here. Quote, "I have learned with the deepest concern the news about Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor and suspicion of misconduct in public office. What now follows is the full, fair and proper process by which this issue is investigated in the appropriate manner and by the appropriate authorities. In this, as I have said before, they have our full and wholehearted support and cooperation. Let me state clearly, the law must take its course." And the statement ends with, "As this process continues, it would not be right for me to comment further on this matter. Meanwhile, my family and I will continue in our duty and service to you all." Amanda, what do you make of that statement and this moment where, as the King says and the monarchy says, the law must take its course with Andrew?
Well, there's two messages here. The first one, which is right and proper, is that the law must take its course. And we would expect the King to make that kind of statement. It's also a reminder that we are talking about the law, a legal case. This isn't trial by media and it's not trial by public opinion. It is incredibly easy, and we do it all the time, is that we leap to conclusions and we do actually judge people on social media and in the media for what we think they may or may have not done. What's fascinating here, and what papers are already beginning to point out, is that Andrew was arrested on his 66th birthday. Why this day? Why today? Why not yesterday? Why not tomorrow? I mean, what was so important about today, except for the fact that it's, kind of fun or interesting that it's his birthday as well. So it just adds a little bit of color and excitement. So there are parallels to another case that happened in 2014. The police raided Cliff Richards, a very well-known and popular and beloved pop star in this country, in 2014, and brought in cameras and helicopters, and it was all filmed. And it was a way of deflecting criticism from the police at that time. So there are always circles within circles, especially when you're dealing with famous people, and you have to really, really, genuinely let the law take its course.
CBS News royal contributor Amanda Foreman joining us with the latest on the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten. Amanda, thank you. We will have more coverage on this breaking story in just a few moments later this hour, and of course throughout the day.